Okay, let's talk supplementation. The one thing you want to focus on, you want to make sure that you're getting in omega-3s, okay? There's no omega-3s on here, so you may want to add that. You want to get some omega-3s in. You can do olive oil too. It's good to like take a scoop of olive oil if you wanted to do that. You want to think of a multivitamin and getting in as many minerals as possible. I take sea moss. I sell sea moss, but I take sea moss. I do it because it is what the Lord has told me to do. Now, there are 102 minerals in the human body, which means most of our food is supposed to have a lot of those minerals in it, but we already know that our food lacks so much. It's deficient in minerals because of everything that it's being, how it's being grown. So what's in the soil, what they're spraying it with, so that we have an understanding of. Sea moss actually has 92 trace minerals, and here's a chart where I actually found sea moss has 99 minerals. This one has a 99 list, but there are in fact 92 trace minerals in sea moss. And so I tend to do well with just the sea moss. I actually used to take ashwagandha, black fermented seed, my omegas, what else? Oh my goodness, I can give you a huge list. You know, I actually have a picture. There was like, I would put 7 maybe. I think it was like 7 different kind of herbs into my protein shakes or in my smoothies, so that way I was making sure I can get everything that I needed in. And so far, all I notice I really need when I'm taking the sea moss is I like to have things that will help hydrate me. And so that's the one thing that I do notice. Now, sea moss is high in magnesium. You are going to want to make sure you are getting magnesium. So if you can find a really good multivitamin, right now I'm seeing some at HEB that are ancient. It says ancient, and I'll put a picture. And these I think are from the Dr. Axe crew, or yeah, Axe or Oz? No, Dr. Axe crew, and they do like the ancient, the bone broth, all that stuff. And so I thought it was really cool. So for my men, there is a men's multivitamin, and those seem to look really good. I looked over, haven't taken them, but I had looked over yesterday all the ingredients and the minerals that are in there. The minerals are really good. So again, you can just do a sea moss and then see if you want to incorporate anything into that, or you can just pick up a really good multivitamin. The key is making sure it can be absorbed, because with most vitamins, not everything is absorbed. So if it has 80, or we'll say 60% of calcium in it, the absorption that actually occurs when it comes into your body could be like 15%. So you want to make sure that it is balanced correctly or taken correctly, so that way you can absorb calcium. For your body to be able to absorb calcium, you have to have vitamin C. So you want to look at a vitamin. Does it have vitamin C and calcium together? Because if it doesn't, then your body might not absorb a lot of that calcium. So that is important. Sea moss, your body actually absorbs all of sea moss. And I'm not trying to sell you guys, but I know what the Lord told me. And so far, all I've ever had to take was the sea moss. Now, when my throat starts to hurt and I start to like kind of feel sinuses coming on, the one thing that I do take before I get hit with some sore throat or pain or anything like that is fenugreek. And I take 3. I take double the dosage, and I just do that for 2 or 3 days, and I never end up getting a sore throat or sick or anything like that, and that really helps. Now, if I'm not on it, then yes, it'll come, and then I have to like get all that stuff out. All right, so a mineral, so you're looking at a multivitamin, you want to get minerals in, okay, that's important. the omega-3s. You want to make sure you're getting some of those good fats in there. The fish, if you're eating enough fish, then you're fine. And a multivitamin will be in place of that minerals. All right, next we're looking at this carnitine. Now there is a carnitine that you can take that I absolutely love, and you just take a little. I used to just pour some into the cap, and I used to just chug the cap, and then it got to the point where I just chug it right out of the drink because it was just so good. Carnitine is like an amino acid, so it's part of a protein building block. Like your body's made up of certain kinds of proteins, and so what it actually does is it actually helps to increase fat burning. So you can take carnitine, and it actually feels really good to take anyway. It's really good for you. So the other thing we're going to include, because of our ages, most of our ages, is creatine. Believe it or not, creatine isn't necessarily like those huge bodybuilders that you see. It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger's taking creatine. Believe it or not, there are very fit 60, 50, 40-something-year-olds that might just be nicely slimmed. All it does is increase your muscle mass. And so if you have more muscle mass, then you're able to do more. You're able to have longevity, basically, is what we're doing, right? So now your muscular structure is not breaking down. And so we're actually building it back up and holding its capacity. So the only thing with creatine, it is not dangerous for you, like you might hear, is you just want to drink plenty of water. That's it. And so I am like not the water drinker. For some of you know that already. So when I'm taking creatine, all I really do is just take an additional bottled water. So I just get an additional like 8 ounces of water if I'm taking creatine. And that's pretty much all I really do, even though some suggest take lots more creatine. Now, I do drink more water when I'm working out, though. My body needs the water. Do you have to be working out to take creatine? No, you don't. So I started taking my creatine, and I hadn't been able to work out this week just yet. So you don't have to necessarily have to be working out. All right, so everything else on there, the whey shake you don't need. If you want to get a good protein shake, yes. BCAAs, you don't need to take those. Glutamine, you don't need to take that. Glucosamine, you don't need to take glucosamine if you're getting the minerals in and you're doing the omega-3s. Glucosamine is really great for the joints, though, so if you want to incorporate it, you can. But we're trying to like not break the budget here, right? And if you have good minerals, then you're fine without vitamin B's or C's. And so I wouldn't try to focus on trying to incorporate anything else other than those specific things. We want minerals, we want omegas, and we want creatine, okay? So wherever you're gonna get good minerals from. So now juicing, let's talk about juicing real quick. And you can juice at home. Now, if you just have a regular blender, you'll juice your flavors into a blender, and then you'll run it through like a cheesecloth, and then you get juice. If you're doing orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice, which I'll put a little thing here on for you, you want to make sure like the freshly squeezed orange juice from H-E-B is our favorite. It is almost $10 for that bottle there. And it's actually about the same as if you bought a 10-pound bag of oranges, which initially it takes about 10-pound bag of oranges to actually fill up one of those things. So, but if you get one of those things, you just run it through a little strainer and get the pulp out. Okay, so that's juicing. And the whole goal of the juicing is just to make sure that you're allowing your digestion to rest. So we're giving your digestion rest, but we're giving your body nutrients, okay? So you can work the juicing in how you feel fit for it, but it's about that rest, and you're still giving your body a good amount of nutrition. We just did some apple juice this morning, and so we juiced that, and like I said, Charlie's doing it with me, so she totally loved it. So Crystal, the babies would love it if you wanted to give them some. I also like to do a kiwi and lime with apple, pineapple, and I always do a little bit of banana. Banana is good. So you just gotta find like your flavors that you might like. Isabella likes watermelon, strawberry, and pineapple. Those are her 3 flavors. So when I'm doing watermelon juices, I always do a special batch and put it to the side for her, and it's actually really good. But I'm cool with just straight watermelon juice. So also, you want to get in coconut water. Now, if you don't want to do electrolytes, I don't think you necessarily have to do electrolytes, but coconut water is going to be a very good one for you. And I had a little video I'll show you guys, but this is the coconut water that I do, and I love it. I get it at H-E-B in the produce section. So one thing I never knew, I ended up really loving this one when it first came out, and it trumps any other coconut water I get, and I drink lots of coconut water, which I ended up finding out from Miss Jen that the other coconut waters I was getting had other ingredients in it, and I never even paid attention to that. I have no idea why. But this one is just straight coconut water. That's it. Super good. It's a pink. Now there are 2. There's going to be one that says with pulp, and this one is no pulp. I don't like the coconut chunks, so this one's no pulp. But the water itself, you'll see it, it's pinkish. So that's how I knew it was real coconut water. But yes, Miss Jen clarified for me. This one is only coconut water. So that's the one I would suggest to buy. And it comes really big. This one's a small one. You can see, right, in size. And the other one is like much bigger. It's much bigger. And that one will last me like 3 days, the big one, since I drink a lot of coconut water. All right, now, creatine, really quick before we move on. Creatine, there is a creatine. You know what, Santana? Can you hand me the creatine I threw in the trash? Now, there is a creatine at H-E-B that I had bought a long time ago. And this morning, the Lord gave me a dream about this creatine. And, Santana. And in this dream, I saw someone pull something out of like a box, right? And they had on a whole hazmat thing, like a face mask and gloves. And they actually used these clampers. Thanks, babe. They actually used these clampers to grab something. And I'm like, what is it? Like something's going on, right? And so these metal clampers, they go in there and they grab it and they pull it out. And they pulled out this creatine. This creatine is by Cellucor, whatever. Cellucor. All right. So don't buy this one. I just threw mine away and I got another one. Okay. This is the one I got at H-E-B today. And I just had it with straight water, and it was very, very delicious. This one is a fruit punch. Okay, so Finaflex is the name of this one, and this one was good. Now, if God ends up telling me no, then I'll let you know. But I was standing there, and He didn't say no. So this one I thoroughly enjoyed because I could have it at any time. Meaning I don't got to put it in anything except with water. This one was flavorless, but unflavored with water is, I would think, disgusting, right? I don't know. I did put it in my coconut water though, and it fuzzed. I don't know if fuzzing is a good sign. Okay. So yes, this one was a fruit punch at H-E-B. Okay. A lot of things you'll find at HEB. And then, okay, so now let's move on. We're 15 minutes. Okay, let's move on. Now, meal combinations. This one is so important, okay? It's about superfooding your way, all right? The reason why and I know we talked about this in that one nutritional thing I discussed, and I'm going to post that one. So if you want to go back and listen to it, but the combination of food is so important for the way it breaks down into your body. This is actually one of the best ways, other than a raw vegan diet, that I've known for weight loss and optimal, like, health, strength, energy. It's like everything seems to balance so well when you're eating in combination, okay? Combination is when you're having that carbohydrate with a protein and a fat, all right? You want to get those good fats in. Those are important. And not excluding superfoods. Now, there is a list of superfoods that I consider to be superfoods, and we'll talk about those on another video tomorrow, all right? But, so superfoods are important, and you don't want to dismiss the superfoods. So the combination, though, is important. So if you are doing a, let's say, a raw vegan diet, you want to make sure you're combining the foods correctly. If you are doing a carnivore diet, you still, I still, no matter, I think, how much people enjoy those diets, I still think that, I think this physically, by my experience, and spiritually, that too much animal protein is just not beneficial for your body. You still have to offset that. Our body, I believe, was designed more to work with carbohydrates, because we were first designed with a garden before we were first designed for animal, if that makes sense. So when you think about everything that grows, every seed-bearing thing that grows, those are all carbs. Vegetables are carbs, fruits are carbs, nuts can be carbs. All of it is carbs. Now we have starchy carbs and we have complex carbs, you know? So I think your body needs to thrive off carbs. We know that we have insulin fluctuations based on carbs, but it's a matter of what kind of carbs you're taking in. So honestly, I believe that the best ways I see myself leaning out, losing weight, dropping pounds, which most people know if they take out the carbs, right? I can take out the carbs. I will lose muscle mass if I take out carbs, and I will lose water weight. But the moment I eat carbs, I will bloat back up, and not only that, my intestines will bloat. It will become inflamed, and I will literally be bloated. The girls, when they see that happen to me, they're like, "Mommy, is there a baby in there?" Because my tummy gets so big, right? And it's like, goodness, it's ridiculous. And I just gotta like sit down and kind of wait till the next day when that finally passes. So if you don't take carbs out and you know how to sustain your carbohydrate intake correctly with the right kinds of foods and in combination, so that way you don't have insulin spikes, so that way you know exactly what kind of carbohydrates you're taking in, then it does so much better for your body. It's so much more beneficial for your body. Not only is it more beneficial, it's easier to maintain a diet without feeling like you're starving yourself or depriving yourself from the things that you love. So I can talk more about that tomorrow. But for today, understand, as you're starting to look at the grocery list, as you're starting to look at the meals, and you're like, well, I don't eat that, I don't like that, or I'm not on that diet, so I'm going to have to put something else there. Let's think about how important it is to have carbohydrates. And when you're fluctuating or filtering through the meal plan, that you are considering what kind of carbohydrates you might want to have or you can have, right? They say bananas are horrible for you. Bananas are a superfood for me. Bananas are the one thing that is like helps me hold muscle mass. Believe it or not, bananas do. When I'm crazy strength training and I crave ice cream, I make me banana ice cream. So I make sure I'm getting bananas in. I put bananas in almost all my smoothies, and I'm able to like hold my muscle mass structure. It's ridiculous. That and spinach. Go figure, right? So people say bananas are bad for you. But now if you just, let's factor everything that everyone says. Everything is bad, right? Everything is bad. I can't even use the dishwasher. We're just going right now. Because it's like, even the soap is bad. So no matter what it is, it's bad. They're saying you can't even buy clothes anymore because they're putting, the colors are chemicalized and they go into your pores. So everything is bad. And if everything is bad, let's just start clean. Let's just start over. And okay, if everything's bad, then let's just focus on what helps my body thrive. So what helps your body thrive? And because you've done so many different kinds of diets, you might not actually know, because some of these diets are pretty out there. Like if you're doing the paleo, you're instantly taking all fruit out, almost all fruit, and all carbohydrates out except for sweet potato. Like it all comes out. If you're doing the carnivore diet, all carbs are out, even vegetables. And vegetables are bad for you, supposedly too, right? But then again, not having the right kinds of meats, cancer comes from meat. So if you consume too much meat, you're putting too much of those things into your body. And now your body has to figure out what's happening. Is it your system? But no, your body can't tell the difference that if it's your system, because you're putting those normal hormones into your body when you eat animal meat, right? Or stress levels or cortisol is going into you. So your body's trying to understand, are you at risk? Your body can't tell the difference because the at-risk DNA component that goes inside is that of almost a human. It's like a natural DNA component. It's not something that's coming from a plant-based item. So your body's trying to understand what's happening. And our bodies were designed to keep us alive and to protect us. Anyway, so there has to be a balance. There has to be a right balance, is what I'm saying. But we tend to go drastic, right? Keto, drastic. Mediterranean, I think, is a little more balanced. I think I've actually never really stuck on a Mediterranean diet. I have tried it a few times, but I think it's a little more balanced, the Mediterranean diet. And then, what is the other drastic ones out there? Well, I know there's the lion diet, or the Maine lion. Yeah, lion. That one seems okay, but it is still kind of close to the carnivore and paleo kind of diets. Even the raw vegan diet can be way out there, even though my body absolutely loves the raw vegan diet. I do very well on that diet. But still, it's not sustainable for long term. The longest I ever done that kind of diet was like a year, almost a year. And then again at 6 months. And then last year when I started this whole thing, I started as a raw vegan again. And I did that for, I think it was 3 or 4 months. And then I started to wean off of it. So again, the right kind of balance. There are things your body thrives on, and those are the things you have to find out. What supports your body, and what do you enjoy, and how can you incorporate it? I enjoy coffee. I don't do coffee with sugar. I do it with something else because I enjoy coffee, but it's finding what works for my body. Is it agave? Is it going to be coconut sugar? And I don't do any of the fake stuff, so I've even gone as far as making my own date paste. I would take dates and make it into a paste, like a, not like a syrup because syrup's more runny, but it's more like pasty, and it's very satisfying because it's so sweet. And I would take scoops of that and put it into my coffee so I can have something sweet. So yeah, you just have to find what works for your body. And I think this is a great opportunity to try to change some things and add some things in and see how your body thrives on it. But also, you're going to have to understand that the moment you make a change, the change is going to have an effect. So don't think that, oh my goodness, your body was shocked with something you put in it and you're like, oh, I can't have that. That isn't what your body is trying to tell you. You need to let your body adjust. It has to adapt to what you are doing, okay? The more nutrition, the more minerals you give your body, after about 5 days, your body will start to tell you at that point what you should have and what you shouldn't have. So you have carbohydrate, you bloat up, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I can never have this. That's not the truth. That's a lie, okay? Let your body adapt, because then it will start to tell you. Let's say I don't eat, I wasn't doing bread unless I made a homemade bread. And so when I would have the homemade bread, just think about that, months of not eating bread. And then I have homemade bread and my body's totally fine. I go out to eat and decide it's time I can have bread, and I eat a piece of bread from a restaurant and my body didn't like it. So your body will tell you then, like, it knows when it's getting something good and when it's getting something bad. So does it mean I can't have bread? No, it just means there's something else going on with whatever it is that I bought, what's inside of it, things like that. You have to give it a little bit of time. People who don't eat bananas, I'll say this, you will bloat up first. You will feel bloated. You will feel as though you're constipated or clogged, but it's because your body is pushing everything out. So you need to just give that some time. But usually after 5 days, your body starts to know what's happening if you're consistent. Now, if you're not consistent, your body won't know what's happening. And your body will keep responding the way it has been responding over the last 6 months, over the last year, or however long you've been on a diet or off a diet. It's gonna not know what's going on yet. So you have to be consistent. The moment you're consistent, your body will start to understand what you're doing and it will let you know. So you need to give it a time. Don't just think like, oh my gosh, this is it, I can never have it again. So that isn't the truth. Just give it a minute, okay? Don't be scared. Everything will be fine. All right, I'm gonna let you go because it's ready to get late. And we'll talk some more about meal combining and superfoods. Meal combining and superfoods, okay? All right, bye.